Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a development in terms of the BunnyAyu situation, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And if you don't know, we obviously covered it in this video saying the most hated VTuber is back. As yeah, it was 2 weeks ago that we found out that she was having another model kind of worked on and that there was some kind of plan in place to start VTubing again. Now, if you don't know, BunnyAyu was also known as another name called Bunny Gif, which many people probably remember from a little bit ago about some drama that she's involved in, which essentially had her kind of removed from the VTubing space and community, right? And again, we can go through a quick list. I did this in the last video as well. We went through a quick list of exactly what she was like accused of and things, and what people found out. It was financial sabotage, slander, isolation and bullying, career intimidation. It was stuff like manipulating friends and mutual connections, professional sabotage and financial harm to partners, gatekeeping within the cosplay and VTuber communities, body shaming women in private group chats, emotional abuse and gaslighting of partners and friends, spreading rumors to isolate individuals from the community, pursuing partners of mutual friends, inappropriate physical advances and behavior towards other partners, grooming creators to compete with or replace others, stalking other creators online, filing false DMCA claims to science accusers, using cloud to exploit smaller creators. Whew. Yeah, it's a pretty long list, right? And it all came out, and it was all to do with another VTuber as well called Layna Lazar, which you guys have probably seen about. And yeah, as I said, it seems like she is trying to make her kind of comeback now. And it seems like she surprisingly has quite a lot of support despite everything that she has done. And yeah, you can see here, this is over on her other account. This is her actual kind of VTuber account, I'm guessing, because the thing is, right, ever since this whole situation, she's become very, very popular on places, like Twitter and whatever with her, fansly stuff and that kind of content. And now she's trying to make the switch back to VTubing again, which I think is crazy because she's got like 1.2 million over on this account. Why not just stick to the IRL stuff? I don't know. But obviously it seems like she just, is moving over to VTubing once again. And as you can see here, it says returning to stream January 16th, 2026, which if you haven't guessed, if you haven't looked at your clock, it's tomorrow. So again, it seems that we're going to be seeing her coming back to streaming, which is going to be pretty interesting. You got BunnAyu there as well, who was also mentioned in a lot of the drama stuff too. So again, a lot of people very, very interested in seeing what is exactly going on here. And a lot of people have also been kind of pointing at the fact of the similarities to the kind of Cinder situation in terms of not actual like the stuff that happened in the Cinder situation, but in terms of how willing people are for her to come back, right? Because again, there is always the chance that, over this amount of time, she's kind of made up for all of this kind of stuff, and she's changed as a person, right? And again, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's not true, right? It's odd, and there's many different kind of explanations for this, or whether she thinks that she can just come back into the community and not really say anything. So it will be interesting to see if there is some kind of response to exactly what is going on, and why she decided to come back and things, because again, a lot of people want to know. A lot of people are still very, very angry at her for the last kind of drama. And yeah, it's interesting. And also talking about the Cinder stuff, you got the Pyropop Center here saying which again is pretty crazy. There's a lot of people that have been very, very excited to see her back, saying, I'm so excited to see you back again, looking forward to it. Now again, I don't know if these obviously are people that have forgiven her for what she's done, or forgotten about what has gone on, or I don't know. Like it could be a massively mixed bag in terms of people and their opinions on BunnyAyu. Because again, as I said, people can easily forgive other people for what they've done, especially if they provided some kind of response. But I haven't seen any response. It just seems like people have kind of forgotten, I guess. Well, not forgotten, but I guess forgiven. I don't know. And it's one of these things where I don't think it's inherently 100% everyone forgives her and wants her to come back, and I don't think it's 100% everybody doesn't want her to come back either, right? I think it is pretty 50-50 at the moment, and I do think a lot of that does come from people being pretty uneducated. There's a really good video if you guys want to go into it super into detail by Rima. I definitely recommend checking out. It goes into the whole situation fully and exactly what happened down to the last detail. Obviously I gave you the cliff notes of everything that she's accused of and that was kind of brought up within this entire kind of topic. But yeah, it also seems like as well, we looked at in the last video, Kuamori, one of the, popular kind of riggers out there, was also showing off a lot of their kind of work to do with BunnyAyu recently on the new model, it seems like. And they did get a lot of hate for their last post, which, yeah, obviously we covered in the last video. Some people think, some people saying, good stuff like, it looks good. Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's Kuramori's fault in terms of the rigging or anything like that. Obviously, they're just doing their job. Maybe they could have done some like research into who they were doing it for, but maybe they're fully aware of that too. I get like, okay, it could be one of these things where they figure it out too. It is one of these really hard situations, right? Because as I said, it is very much like the Cinder situation where, she has come back, but half the people, like her being back, half the people don't like her being back. And it's just like, okay, like this is weird, I don't know what's going on. And you've also got as well, and yeah, this new post that's come up. This has been pretty, well received as well, especially after a lot of people have kind of called out the behavior in the last comment section, because again, I don't think it is exactly the riggers' fault. Obviously, they're getting a bag, they're doing a job, and, they're doing it very, very well. But there are still a couple of people down here saying, you do anything for money, even making art for, yeah. This is someone who essentially assaulted others and even talked to minors. Making art for her is no different than being a PDF yourself, which again, I don't think that is true. I don't think that makes them a PDF, which is kind of crazy. I think it makes them a, a model rigger who, is just taking on another job for what would be a very, very popular VTuber. Like, I'm telling you, I think BunnyAyu will be popular whenever she comes back, because she's already popular on all of our other socials as well. It's not like she's going to join and is going to be dead and nothing's going to happen, right? No, she's going to be popular. That's the thing, right? And I think as a kind of, as a rigging artist, I do think that is a pretty big opportunity for you, regardless of, what has happened in the past, regardless of exactly, the gripes that some people have. Your model, your rigging is going to be out there for a lot of people, because a lot of people are going to be watching us. So I do think, honestly, it's a pretty good business move for them going forwards, because, yeah, they're going to get more exposure and maybe get even bigger clients and things going forwards, which would be very, very interesting to see, right? And I think it is just a case of, it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of works out, whether the chat is going to be extremely respectful and kind of whatever, or if it's going to be a whole entire mess, because it seems like, some people are very angry at the fact that she's coming back, and some people are very happy. And I think, yeah, I don't really know what the cause for people being happy is, whether it is that they have forgiven her, whether it is that they've forgotten about what's happened, or they didn't know what happened in the first place. But again, I do think it's interesting. And if you don't know what happened, as I said, go and watch Rima's video. It is so informative, and it definitely keeps you up to date with, what she is like today. Well, obviously, maybe she's not like this today, but what she was like in the past, and what you can kind of apply and be careful of in the future whenever it comes to consuming her content, if that is the case, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, I did think it was pretty interesting seeing that she was coming back, and yeah. As I said, I still don't understand it at all, because she has this kind of, her own account, which is more personal and IRL and whatever, which, yeah, I just think, why not stick to this? It was doing so good. As I said, 1.2 million followers. I don't know why you just suddenly make this switch to VTubing, but maybe she actually has a passion for VTubing and VTubers in general, or maybe there's some other reason behind it. But I did think it was a very interesting move, especially when you are so disliked in the VTubing community, right? I think a lot of people in the VTubing space do not like her, not just VTubers, I mean, as in like the fans, right? And it just doesn't really make sense, because you were doing so well in the RL space, and now you're moving to a space where you're actively hated. It doesn't make sense to me, but obviously that is the case. And yeah, it seems like we'll have to wait and see tomorrow what this debut is going to be like. But for now, that is essentially all there is for the situation. I just kind of want to keep you guys up to date with what was going on, as it seems like we do have now a concrete debut kind of confirmation there, and it's going to be interesting to see what really goes on with her going forwards. But that's essentially all I got. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazo, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. So yeah,